In from Matt Cooper. The Church of Scientology is coming under attack all around the world from a group of internet hackers, activists, and general protesters who call themselves Anonymous. This weekend, I think on Sunday, the group is protesting outside the church's premises in Dublin, and one of the Anonymous members of Anonymous has joined us. What exactly do you have against the Church of Scientology?
Well, the problem we have with the church is their slant on freedom of speech. Anonymous is a group that believes in everything should be said online or in real life. You should not hold back against the truth. And when they put on the video of Tom Cruise, it was on YouTube, speaking out, it was meant to be a private thing, they automatically threatened YouTube with legal and said, take it down or we're suing you. So we saw that as a last straw. We said the public should know about this, and we said, fine, we're going to take to the streets on this and go up against you.
Well, you mentioned Tom Cruise. Let's hear a wee bit of that video from YouTube.
I think it's a privilege to call yourself a Scientologist, and it's something that you have to earn. And because a Scientologist does, he or she has the ability to create new and better realities and improve conditions. Being a Scientologist, you look at someone and you know absolutely that you can help them. Being a Scientologist, when you drive past an accident, it's not like anyone else. As you drive past, you know you have to do something about it because you know you're the only one that can really help. But that's what drives me, is that I know that we have an opportunity and to really help for the first time, effectively change people's lives, and I am dedicated to that. I'm absolutely, uncompromisingly dedicated to that. Orgs are there to help, okay, but we as also the public, it's like, we have a responsibility. It's not just the orgs. It's not just Dave Miscavige. It's not just me. It's you. It's everyone out there kind of rereading KSW and looking at what needs to be done and saying, okay, am I going to do it or am I not going to do it? Period. And am I going to look at that guy, or am I too afraid because I have my own out ethics to put in someone else's ethics? And that's all it comes down to. We are the authorities on getting people off drugs. We are the authorities on the mind. We are the authorities on improving conditions. Criminon, we can rehabilitate criminals. Way to happiness, we can bring peace and unite cultures. That once you know these tools and you know that they work, it's not good enough that I'm just doing okay.
So let me get this clear. You have no problem with what Tom Cruise is actually saying there. Your problem is that the Church of Scientology said, if you put that on YouTube, you're breaching our copyright, take it back off.
No, there's a lot wrong with what he's saying there as well. I mean, we'll go one thing, he stands that we are the authorities on mental health is a complete lie. Scientologists believe that psychiatric help does nothing for anyone. Antidepressants, they should not be used. And it's been directed to the deaths of a lot of Scientology members. For example, on Sunday, we're actually commemorating with the 12th anniversary of Lisa McPherson, who was a Scientologist who had mental problems. It was so bad that one time she was in a car accident. There was no physical damage done to her, but she got out, took off all her clothes, and started running around screaming. She needed psychiatric help, but they said
don't
no.
An awful lot of religions preclude, even we heard there was the case only a couple of years ago about a blood transfusion being refused by virtue of religious belief. And there are a lot of religions that will say, no, you can't get certain medical treatments or certain drugs or anything else. Why pick on Scientology?
Well, they're so stern on this whole thing. They will refuse to let people see a doctor. Most other churches say, we disagree, like for Mormons, they'll say, we disagree with this thing, but if you think the doctor comes in and says, look, we really want you to do this, they will go ahead and do it. Now, some people hold it tight themselves, but not as much Scientologists will. They will go to great lengths. I mean, with the Lisa McPherson thing, they took her out of hospital, posing as two friends, brought her to a hotel, and left her there for 17 days under watch, just from those two. And she was harassing herself. She was putting self-abuse on herself. She actually thought she was out on Hubbard for a while. And then on the 17th day, they decided to we're going to bring her to a hospital. They didn't bring her to the one closest, about 5 minutes away. They didn't bring her to four that are about 20 minutes away. They drove her to a hospital that was 40 minutes away simply because there was one Scientologist doctor there. When she arrived, she was pronounced dead on arrival. And the doctor was like, this is amazing. We've never seen so much extreme dehydration. And her corpse was covered in cockroach bites. and the Scientologists actually went to parents and said she had died of meningitis.
Well, I should actually say that we did ask someone from the Church of Scientology to join us, and they declined. And the reason for declining was they said that the group Anonymous is anonymous, and therefore they're not engaging with it. The campaign so far has been mainly internet-based. What kind of things have you been doing?
Well, we originally started off with how Anonymous works is it's a group that they enjoy getting a rise out of groups. And Scientology is a group, they have a thing called fair game, where if you attack them, they will do everything in their power to get you down. So the group Rich said, right, we're going to go for them for the Tom Cruise thing. And so we decided to try to shut down websites through getting their bandwidth, through hacking abilities, through the roof, so that either website would go down to a snail pace or be shut down completely. There was black faxes sent to offices, whereas you send a fax to them that's completely black, so that when it prints off, it wastes their ink. So originally it started off some pranks and then shutting those sites. And then eventually that evolved into, right, we really want people to take this seriously, because people do not understand. They seem to think that when someone's speaking out against Scientology, they're talking about, the ridiculousness that's in their doctor and their book, but they don't tend to hear about the case of death, kidnapping, separating from families.
But does doing that kind of thing, like the black faxing and all of that, does that not intrinsically make it seem like it's more about a couple of pranksters trying to have fun and annoy people rather than actually make a serious campaign?
See, there's some people in Anonymous that will do that, but it's in the minority. The majority of Anonymous will actually do want the public to know about the crimes that they've committed, and there are allegations against them, which we found in plenty of evidence.
And you want the public to know with a view to achieving what? What are you hoping the Church of Scientology will do?
We want them to eventually, we want them to stop, for starters, treating it like a business. You should not have to pay for fate. Fate is there. It's not a pyramid scheme. We also want people they want them to be punished for their crimes they've committed.
But aren't most churches funded in one way or another from the people who are members of that church?
Well, I'll give you an example. If I go to Catholicism, right, like, yeah, you can buy a Bible, but if I go to church, it's free. I sit in there, I get to hear from the Bible, I get to hear the beliefs, or if I'm in school, I get to hear these given to me. But with Scientology, you have to ascend on certain levels and give a certain amount of money to the church. I mean, some people have to pay about $250,000 before they hear some of the stuff that they get to hear, which is wrong. If you're a faith, you shouldn't have to pay that much. I mean, about for €5-10 for a Bible is, nothing really compared to how much you pay to find out about the story of Xenu in Scientology. So.
Should I ask? I won't. If I ask the story of Xenu. What's happening then on Sunday? What exactly is the protest going to consist of on Sunday?
It's what we're doing is we're going to have a peaceful protest across from the buildings. It's just on Abbey Street at 11 o'clock. It's happening all around the world. We're encouraging everyone to come in mass because, one, to keep the anonymous thing going, and two, at protest, Scientologists have been known to take pictures, try and get as much information they can about people who protest against them, put it into their database, and try to find as much dirt on them as they can to try bring them down and silence them. So we want to keep it as safe and as legal as we can. We have actually told many people on the internet that if anyone comes causing any hassle, you don't have to worry about Scientologists ring the guards. We'll ring the guards. We want this to be as peaceful as we can.
Well, Mr. Anonymous from Anonymous, thanks very much for joining us. We'll be straight back after this break.